Alright, what's up guys? So in this short video, I am going to show you two interesting setups that I'm currently watching on Ethereum and Bitcoin. So let's start by looking at the Bitcoin chart right here. Obviously, it's not looking fantastic for Bitcoin. We had a very nice move to move up in the last couple of days to test the range highs, the 41k area. But we got, we had a strong reaction at that area, and we went down and failed to hold the range EQ area. I was actually looking at going long at this area, but we obviously needed some strong confirmation before going long, and we never really got that. We just had one very bearish 4-hour candle just breaking through that level to the downside, and we also failed to hold this clean untested level right here. So obviously looking quite bearish on Bitcoin right here. I'm personally not looking to go long right here. However, looking at the 4-hour, the risk to reward inside this area, at this area, is quite good because it's so close to the invalidation area, right? And the invalidation level of this current uptrend would obviously be that swing low. So entering here means you enter very close to the invalidation level, which could take us up to range high. So the risk to reward in this area is quite nice, but I'm looking at something different, right? I'm looking to possibly go long down inside the reload zone of this latest bigger up move. If you look at the daily, this move is what I'm measuring using the fib tool, and if I use the fib tool from that low to this high, you will see that you have the reload zone in a quite nice area confluent with this support below, which is also range low area, which is also where we have the weekly 50 EMA almost in perfect confluence with the midpoint of the reload zone. So I really like that area below for a possible long, and if you're looking for a swing long, the risk to reward down here is actually quite good, even with a very wide stop loss. So going long down here might not be a terrible idea, considering the fact that you have some pretty strong high time frame confluence, right? So this is the first idea that I'm watching. I would love to go long if we see some confirmation of a bounce down here, and even with a pretty wide stop loss down here, 6% stop loss, you still have up to first take profit, which would be the range EQ area. You have a 1.5, and up to range high you have a 3.3. so pretty good risk to reward for a swing trade, or at least, I don't know if you're gonna call it a swing trade, but a short to medium time frame trade. It's probably going to take a couple of days or even a week to play out, but still pretty nice risk to reward on this. Risking 6% for a 20% move, a 3.4, 3.3 R trade. I like that, but because of the fact that we are now below range EQ, we're below this trend line, we're back below, we're back below the daily 20 EMA, adding the EMAs right here. We have a pretty clear rejection here. We're back below the daily 20 EMA. It's not looking super bullish, but it's still important to remember that we are still trading inside the same range. So using the range lows, which is the around 34, let's say the area between 33 and 34, using the range low area as a support for potential long is obviously a quite good idea, because of the fact that we are inside the same range that we have been trading inside for quite a few weeks now, and the fact that it's confluent with the weekly 50 EMA and the reload zone kind of makes sense. So that's the first long idea that I'm watching on Bitcoin. And I also have a second idea, which I think is going to be a higher probability trade, because to take this trade, you need to see confirmation of strength first. You want a long confirmation of strength, and in my opinion, those are the better longs. When you actually see a trend forming and you try to jump in on that trend. So what I'm looking at in that case, or on that second setup, is a reclaim of the range EQ area. We also have this trend line. Let's add a trend line right here. Yeah, that kind of makes sense, from that high to this high right here, or even something like this could work quite well. Something like that. I want a trend line somewhere in this area, right? And you can kind of see how reclaiming that trend line, so you have this this descending trend line here and this descending trend line here. So reclaiming the range EQ means that you're reclaiming that trend line and this trend line. You're reclaiming the monthly open and range EQ with a bounce on the 618 fib of this larger move. So that's quite nice. That's a long that I'm looking at as well, and that will look something like this: a move up, reclaim the monthly open, range EQ area, break and retest, wait for a rounded retest, go long up to the range high area. So this would basically be a long and reclaim of the middle of the range for a move up to the range highs area. The setup would look something like this. You would want to have a stop somewhere below the 50% fib, probably somewhere in this area, but that is obviously going to be dependent on where the last swing low prior to the breakout is. Now, if you don't know what that means, if you're a member of the Burbness, you most likely know what that means. We have, you know, the webinars on a daily basis where I explain all of these stuff right here. So if you've watched my webinars, you probably know about these possible setups right here. If they activate, we will post setups in the Burbness, of course. So now let's look at Ethereum. So these are two possible longs on Bitcoin because I think the risk to reward to the upside is much higher, right? I don't really see a good risk to reward to the downside, because I do think in this area for Bitcoin, the path of least resistance is to the upside. However, Ethereum, I'm looking at something differently, right? And the way I'm thinking here is if Bitcoin breaks down, obviously Ethereum versus USDT will break down as well, but I'm not interested in shorting Bitcoin, but the risk to reward on the short on Ethereum looks much better. So if you want to short the crypto market and you know that Ethereum and Bitcoin will move with each other if Bitcoin dumps, I think the risk to reward on shorting Ethereum is much better than shorting Bitcoin. But going long on Bitcoin is, in my opinion, a better long than to long Ethereum. So my short bias and the crypto market is towards Ethereum, and my long bias, if it does, you know, confirm and develop, is on Bitcoin. So keep in mind the two long positions on Bitcoin. You can't take those long position and this short position because one of them will most likely get stopped out. This is if Bitcoin breaks down, you can short Ethereum. If Bitcoin breaks, starts a bullish trend on the low time frames, reclaims range EQ, you can long Bitcoin but not short Ethereum at the same time. So this is the short that I'm watching on Ethereum. I actually covered this idea on the webinar that I did this morning, right on Saturday this morning. And it came up and it perfectly tested and touched the entry zone right here before heading lower. And if you look at the daily, I think this kind of makes sense, right? Actually, I think it's better on 4 hour. So if you zoom out here, you see we have this level right here, a very solid support area right here. And you know, the more a support level gets tested, the weaker it becomes as support, but it becomes stronger as resistance if it breaks down and gets retested as resistance. So this level right here should act as a very strong resistance. And if Ethereum and the crypto market will continue to go lower, I think this is a beautiful entry on Ethereum for a short. Now, I do think there's some strength left in Bitcoin here, so we might see another push up on Ethereum, right? What I'm waiting for is a move higher into this area right here, which is confluent with the 0236 of the high time frame fib and the reload zone on the local fib, which is measured from that high to that low. So you get this nice area at around 2.3. I would like to see a rounded retest right here, a retest on the 4 hour that kind of fills up this whole area right here and then continues lower. If you look at the moving averages on the 4 hour, you will see as well that you have the 20 EMA on the 4 hour right here. I would love to see a retest of the 20 EMA in the 4 hour right here, the yellow one, while the stochastics RSI, this one right here, gives you a bearish cross above 70 at least. preferably 80, but it doesn't really matter. Above 70, that's good. And that could also happen right inside the local short reload zone right here. So I'm very interested in a potential short inside this area for Ethereum. If that gets activated and you see some strong rejection up in this area with a 4-hour bearish engulfing or something like that while Bitcoin is breaking down, I think that is a very good good shorting opportunity for Ethereum. Now when it comes to profit taking area, let me give you my thoughts on this right here. So I'm thinking 25% down here at the 0 fib, which is the last, the lows of the local move, and then 25% right at above the 2k area. That is when you will move stops into profit. And then the last take profit, the 50%, is to really let it run if you see a major move to the downside, all the way down to the minus 618 down here. Now the way you're taking profit, that's obviously up to you. If you feel like, this is a very good support for Ethereum and you're bullish on the overall crypto market, you might want to take 50% here, so you exit 75% somewhere here. The risk to reward will obviously be worse. That's why I want to let my winners run, right? Anyway, that's my plans for Ethereum and Bitcoin. Obviously, I'm not going to take a look at any other altcoins because the crypto market right now is following Bitcoin, right? And I see something interesting on Ethereum, but it's all up to Bitcoin, whatever Bitcoin does right now. All right, guys, remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you guys like this type of stuff, go ahead and sign up for the free trial to the Burbnest. Go to theburbnest.com/free trial and see you guys in the Discord server. All right, take care.